Florida State had their spring showcase yesterday. What do we make of it? We talk about it a lot on the show. Spring football for us is for taking a temperature. We don't want to make any definitive statements. Don't want to give you a diagnosis or a win-loss prediction just from a spring game or from a couple spring practices. But even with that being said, what did we learn from yesterday's spring showcase in Tallahassee? We'll talk about it right now. But if you haven't noticed, we're doing a spring game, spring showcase reaction the Sunday after it happened, like a couple hours after it happened, the morning after. We have a little bit of a sicko approach to this whole college football thing, and you're watching a spring game reaction, so you're also in that same boat with us. We deserve each other. Make sure you're subscribed. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Pakel to let me know y'all's thoughts on what you saw yesterday in Tallahassee. Let's get right to it, man. DJ Uiagalelei was the story going into it. He's probably the talking point for a lot of folks coming out of it. Side note, I thought the turquoise non-contact jerseys were kind of sweet. Curious to hear y'all's thoughts there. The stat line itself, if you're just reading the box score, a little bit underwhelming. I saw a couple of different stat lines, but overall, he completed a little bit less than 50% of his passes, 12 for 26, right around 177 yards passing. I would look beyond the box score if I'm going to try to evaluate DJU. I think the overall thought process, if you're a Florida State fan coming out of it, is like, yeah, it wasn't horrible. You didn't see anything that made your jaw drop. Also, he's playing against a really good defense, which we'll talk about more in just a second. I think the way that I left feeling about DJU was, one, I appreciated his decisiveness. There wasn't a whole lot of double clutching and where do I go with the football. Like, when he made a decision, whether it was right or wrong, he made it full speed. Okay, so that's a confidence thing. That's a trusting the system kind of thing. If my read that I want isn't there, I'm going to the other read or the read after that, and I'm going 100 miles an hour. I saw him do that. I thought that was encouraging. At the same time, a couple of plays that you would have liked to have back if you're DJU when it comes to maybe putting the football in jeopardy. That completion percentage number, I think, is a little bit misleading because he did have some drops. He probably had a couple of plays where it was the right play to throw it away. But even with that being said, what he's going to do when it comes to the fall also is going to be complemented by how he is able to utilize his legs within this offense. You saw Jordan Travis do it a lot last year in certain situations when he had to. I think DJU brings that same ability to make defenses have to worry about your quarterback tucking it on the read option. But he also, for my money, brings a little bit of that extra element with his size to get downhill on that 3rd and 1, to be able to score on the goal line when you call quarterback power. Like Jordan Travis, he was able to hurt you with his legs, but the way that DJU can physically hurt you behind his shoulder pads, don't want him doing it all the time, but the way that he brings that to the table, I think defenses will have to account for as well, and I think that'll be something that Mike Norvell consistently works into the offense. The way that I feel about Florida State and DJU, because we have to understand now, it's not a finished product. This is just the end of his first spring in Tallahassee. He's going to get better, you would have to believe, from the entire summer to fall camp going into the season. If he just brings a B-plus kind of performance to the table consistently, Florida State's going to win a lot of ball games. There's no way around it. He is good enough to get the job done, and then you look around him, this running back room, I wholeheartedly believe you're going to be able to lean on. You lose Trey Benson to the league, but they're legit like 3, maybe 4 deep at running back in terms of guys you're going to see on the field. Roydell Williams, the Bama transfer, nice touchdown run. Keziah Holmes, nice touchdown run where he's running behind those pads. You do not want to get on the tracks when that train is coming. Lawrence Toafili, didn't see him a lot yesterday, but you know what he is from last season. Jalen Lucas showing some speed out there. Like, there's a lot of different legs in this backfield that can hurt you, and the fact that you can rotate so many guys into the mix there, it's going to be helpful, obviously, early in the season. But I'm telling you, when you get into November, when you get into that college football playoff run, like to have that many backs that you can count on and that you can wear down defenses with, that matters. And also, it's going to help DJU for what I just mentioned. 1, you're able to take pressure off of him having to throw the football. 2, when you crash enough times on that read option, and he tucks it that 3rd time after you've been smoked twice, and he takes it around the edge for a nice 15-yard gain, like, that's going to be a headache for defenses and another thing they have to worry about. The playmakers, we're going to see. Malik Benson left with a lower body injury yesterday. From what I was able to glean, I don't think it's overwhelmingly serious as we sit here at, 8:45 Eastern on Sunday morning. But I don't think that's going to be something that's wildly – I don't want to speculate. I don't think that's going to be something that's wildly serious. You don't put the entire game on DJU offensively is what I'm trying to say here. Mike Norvell is going to help him, I think, in every sense of the word with how they utilize him in this scheme, how they call plays for him. I think the fact that they got the radio communication in the helmets now, too, is massive for him. One more thing on DJU. If he has his best season as a college quarterback, how good is Florida State going to be? Follow-up question. Why would he not have his best season as a college quarterback? Probably playing on the best offense he's ever played on, playing with the best play caller he's ever played with, playing with one of the better defenses he's played with, so it's not on him to go and score every single time they touch the football. I understand the ACC, we've seen him struggle when he was at Clemson. I see a lot of opportunity for him to go out and have his best season he's had as a college quarterback. And oh, by the way, you pair all the experiences he's had since he's got to college football. It's going to serve him well. He's mentally tough in that sense as well. I'm excited to see it. I think DJU is going to be what fits the bill for the folks in Tallahassee this year. Defensively, I say this a lot in our spring game reactions. It's hard to evaluate a defense from a spring game because so much of spring football is geared towards the offense. You can't hit the quarterback. A lot of times you're blowing the play dead because you don't want star players getting rocked. You're not hitting a pass catcher when he goes over the middle, usually too hard if you're protecting your teammates. The bottom line for me with the defense in Tallahassee, their dude factor in terms of talent is still very much intact. And I think the calling card last year for this defense, which was the defensive line, is going to also still be their calling card in 2024. Patrick Payton, back for another year, proven commodity. Marvin Jones Jr., you saw him flying around yesterday. Darrell Jackson, Josh Farmer, who we didn't even get to see play yesterday, but he's a big body run stopper for you. Could they go to the portal to even add to this defense? I don't know, but I could see it happening. DJ Lundy, you know what he brings to the table. So all these pieces defensively for Florida State, while the spring game doesn't tell us a ton about what they're going to be in 2024, the talent and ability they have on that roster does. You see the flashes. I'll just leave it at that. You see the flashes. You see what they can be. And I don't think that the buzz we're hearing out of Tallahassee with, hey, this could be one of the most talented rosters Mike Norvell's ever had. And that defense, I know they lost Jared Verse. I know they lost Braden Fisk. They're not taking a massive step back. I don't think that's just message board things being said. I think that's real juice. I think we saw pieces of that yesterday. You could see the good bones, if you will, within that Florida State defense. So coming away from the spring game, would you have liked to see DJU throw for 500 yards? Sure. Would have been nice. But then you're sitting here saying, well, what about our secondary? So it's kind of a lose-lose situation if that happens. But or when you evaluate that quarterback position, if he has a great day, what's wrong with the defense? He has a bad day, what's wrong with the quarterback? He was solid against a good defense. It is what it is. I see a team that will have a roster that will be able to compete and be able to be in position to win every single game they play in the regular season. I'm not predicting that they go and run the table right now. We'll do that when it gets closer to August. But you see a team that has all the makings to pick up where last year's team left off, even with the fact that there's a lot of new faces and some unproven production on this roster. I don't see a reason why Florida State can't be a playoff team in 2024. And a lot of it obviously does hinge with DJU, but I already told you I think DJU is set up for success, and I cannot wait to see how he performs when it comes time for real games to be played in the fall. So let me know what you thought of yesterday's spring showcase out there in Tallahassee. I know it's just spring football, but listen, it's football nonetheless. We get excited about it. You get excited about it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Piquel. Let me know on there. Make sure you're subscribed here. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.